to think about it, I am currently standing here where this morning the water would have been over my head. High tide was at 9:19 a.m. this morning, at 6.9 feet above normal high tide. I am here right now catching the king tide, low tide. What king tide means is that the tides are higher and lower than normal. And this morning I caught the higher than normal high tide, which I'll show you here. And now we have the low tide. All those rocks out there you couldn't see this morning. And you see the pillars to the restaurant over there? How high the water was back then and how low it is now. We couldn't walk out here before. All this was underwater. And the low tide is at 4:47 p.m. at 1.6 feet below the normal low tide. Sunset today is at 4:52 p.m. and it's a new moon. Oh yeah, and remember seeing the waves crashing on the rocks here? So during normal low and high tides, I'm probably walking about where the normal low tide would be, and you can tell by looking at the rocks. Because if you see, here's where we have some animal life or plant life. You don't see it on the rocks up there, but you see it on the rocks here. I wonder what it's like for the marine life to survive in tide. Tides are the movement of water across the Earth's surface caused by the combined effects of the gravitational forces exerted by the moon, the sun, and the rotation of Earth, which manifests in the local rise and fall of sea levels. Yeah. And this grass, I would assume that this grass is always underwater, if not most of the time, because if you look at the rocks and you see where the grass is. Tides affect marine ecosystems by influencing the kind of plants and animals that thrive in what is known as the intertidal zone, the area between high and low tide. Because the area is alternately covered and uncovered by the ocean throughout the day, plants and animals must be able to survive both underwater and out in the air and sunlight. They must also be able to withstand crashing waves. For example, plants and animals that can anchor themselves to rocks along a shoreline can survive the lashing from waves and the less violent movement of the changing tides. On sandy beaches, survival means being able to swim in shallow water and burrow under the sand as the waves arrive and depart overhead. The proximity of the moon in relation to Earth and Earth in relation to the sun has an effect on tidal ranges. The gravitational force is greatest when the moon is closest to Earth and least when it's at its farthest from Earth. The moon has a larger effect on the tides than the sun, but the sun's position also has an influence on the tides. I am currently standing where the water was above my head. The king tides occur at new and full moon when the Earth, Moon, and Sun are aligned in syzygy, resulting in the largest tidal range seen over a course of a year. The predicted heights of a king tide can further be augmented by local weather patterns and ocean conditions. Along many shorelines, tides form tide pools. These small pools of water are often left behind among the rocks at low tide. They can also include diverse population of tiny plants and animals that may serve as food for larger species. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. If you enjoyed it, click the like button. And if you feel like it, comment. We'd love to hear from you. And if you haven't subscribed yet, do that too, and ring the bell. Bye now.